Yo, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. And before we get to our guest today, we have a big shout out for Living Sisu. Living Sisu is a platform and app that wants to give you all the tools to have success in your sport. Their main objective is to activate your lifestyle. So it's for active people. Enjoy discounts at companies like BioSteel, 30% off, Body Logics, the Goalie Guild, all his books are discounted. Roan, Lululemon for men, 20% off. Online stretching programs with Eccentrics, 1 full month free. They got super silent massage guns, 20% off those. And it's a great quality. It's way less expensive than a Theragun, and it's great quality. So there's so many more discounts that you guys will need to just become a member to see. So they want to provide you with anything you need for success. So come join the community. I'm a part of it. A bunch of other athletes are a part of it. So it's free to join. It takes 20 seconds to get exclusive offers to your sport, and it's definitely worth it. So do us a huge favor and go sign up for Living Sisu's membership. It's free, 20 takes 20 seconds. So go do it, and we'll see you there. Living Sisu is a great company. We know one of the co-founders, Zach Fricali. He's a great guy. He's the co-founder. He does a lot of live streams on Instagram at Living Sisu, with a bunch of elite athletes, and you learn a lot from like the athletes' determination, their resiliency, everything to what made them become successful. So it's been a great experience so far. So go on. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. So go sign up. Yo, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. I'm Jack, and in today's episode, we are joined by a very special guest, current professional hockey player Jake Hamilton. Hammy was most recently playing for the Peoria Rivermen before they opted out of the Southern Professional Hockey League's return to play for 2021. He's a second-year pro where he has spent time in the SPHL along with the ECHL and the East Coast Hockey League. Hammy played college hockey for University of Wisconsin-Superior for 2 seasons before going pro, while also spending some time in the North American Hockey League. So welcome to the show, Jake Hamilton.
Thanks for having me, Jack. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem. So Hammy, I saw you yesterday, but how have you been? Like, how's things going? Like, we're in this blizzard right now. So what's going on with you?
As far as the last couple months, I've just been skating on my own, and I do private lessons and small group training with Above and Beyond Hockey. Justin Nelson's in charge of that, so just been kind of helping out with him when I can. But in the meantime, yeah, it's a bummer. There's no season this year. I was really looking forward to going back and playing, and it just is what it is. So I had an opportunity to. I know some teams are still playing, but I had an opportunity to kind of stay and work here and kind of build up my own bank account, because you don't make a lot of money playing pro. So thankfully with coaching and whatnot, I'm able to do that too. So it's pretty much what I've been doing these past couple of months. As far as the snow though, I got stuck a few days ago, so I don't know how I feel about that. I drive a Charger, so my Charger got stuck in the, and it was I didn't get home till 6:30, so I'll just put it that way. But yeah, I know it's ironic. I play hockey, but I hate cold weather. So
yeah, that's usually how it goes. We love playing the game, but when it comes to like the actual snow and everything, not a lot of people like it. But yeah, it's good that you're like putting some money in the bank account and then just training on your own. I met you through Nelly, and I'm training with you guys now for the past month, so that's been fun. And just it's crazy what the times we're living in right now. So it's definitely, hopefully get back to normal next year and see you playing in Peoria hopefully again.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I'd just be happy to play, but at the same time, if I were to go play somewhere else, it's just, to me personally, it's just not the same experience, right? Like you go to practice and then you're locked in your room all day. So I don't know how I would have felt, being locked away for a couple months at a time. Like I don't know. I just like to get out and do things and go do things. Even when all this COVID started, people were locked down, and call it selfish, but the first thing I did was get a job, and I haven't really quarantined even for, I'd say, more than a day or two. Even if even that, I've been out since all this COVID stuff happened back in 2020. So unfortunately, some people catch it. I've been fortunate to not catch it, but again, if I were to play somewhere else this season, in particular, it doesn't sound too appealing to me. Just being locked, just being in the same spot for almost 18 hours of the day. So hopefully we got this vaccine out and things will return to normal, right? Like guys can just show up to the rink. You can have fans in the stands, but as far as everyone's situation, not even hockey related, it's just been weird times, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. So like how's training been for you? Like we've been having some pretty good skates lately. So how's training and how's coaching been as well?
Yeah, coaching's good. I mean, you know, I enjoy coaching, but at the same time, kids nowadays are different than how like when we were kids too. So there's just like a different type of approach to do that, right? It's not try and scare them and be strict. It's more just try and make things fun while they can learn. So yeah, kids for sure nowadays are different, and I'm sure the generation above me will say the same thing about us. So um coaching's been good though. I've been staying busy for sure. um what was the other question you asked?
How's training been?
Oh, and the training. So training, well, like I said, even since COVID started, I maybe took, I got a job right away, and then I maybe took like a day or two off of just working out, and then I started working. I started seeing my trainer in Peoria right away. We still had our apartments for a few months, so I started all I did was just work out and train. And then when I moved up to Chicago, um, at the time when I was in Peoria, I didn't have ice. So when I moved to Chicago, I was excited to get on the ice at Glacier Ice Arena. And like I said, you've been there. We've been skating Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they've been solid skates. So I think that's just trying to be on the ice as much as I can while not burning myself out. So that's what I try and think about. It's still nothing like playing in a game. I absolutely miss that, but like I said, as far as our actual skates, at Glacier, it's the best I can think of.
Yeah, for sure. It's the best any of us can get. So we gotta roll with the punches and just take what you can get. So it's been a lot of fun. So like, can you give like our viewers like a little background information on yourself, like when you started playing hockey, why you started, like
Yeah,
where you
for
grew
sure.
up?
I'll definitely be able to tell this story pretty well. So basically, my whole family's from Michigan. Ironically, I'm an 8 Mile baby, believe it or not. So I was born in Redford. So anybody who's from Michigan knows where that's at. But regardless, basically I was born in Detroit. So when I was 2 years old, my neighbors played hockey. My older brother played hockey. So when I was 2 years old, we moved to St. Louis. And then when I turned 6, I just wanted to do, what all the older kids were doing, which is play hockey. So I learned to skate when I was about 6 years old, I'd say. And basically, we moved to, when I say St. Louis, I actually mean Southern Illinois. So it's like the Mississippi River's here. Here's Missouri. Here's Illinois. Like I'm on the Illinois side, and I would drive across the river to play hockey. But more of the story, I lived there. I moved away to Vegas when I was 16. I played double-A hockey my whole life. And then when I was 16, I finally made it to AAA. Had a decent year there, and then I played for the Chicago Fury. So I moved to Chicago when I was about 17 years old. After the Chicago Fury, I got drafted by the Odessa Jackalopes. I was the last cut for the Bloomington Thunder, and then I had an offer to go into BCHL, but I really wanted to try and pursue the USHL, so that's why I stayed in the NA. And like I said, I think my biggest advice is for kids is, it's good to make the top team, but also go to the teams that want you, right? And so Odessa Jackalopes drafted me, so I was like, well, they're showing me some love, right? So I'll go there. So I played a season there, and then I ended up going to the Sault Ste. Marie, which was like a playing for them, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. That's like northern UP, Michigan, basically Canada. That's like, if you ever seen the movie Youngblood,
Yeah.
it's like a movie, man. Like, no joke. It was awesome. I've only, it's called the Sioux Eagles. Only the unique few who've actually played or lived there will understand what it's like being there. But that was the time of my life. And then the Sioux Eagles got sold to New Jersey, and that's where I finished out my 20-year-old junior hockey year, was in New Jersey. And then excuse me, wow, sparkling water. Basically, I went from New Jersey. I had the same coach for 3 years, and then I ended up leaving school. Just had an opportunity to play in Peoria, but I'm very thankful for that coach in New Jersey and in Superior. Right. So basically my college coach was my same junior coach too.
Yeah.
So if you're tracking that, like I said, I played a lot when I was a freshman and a sophomore, and I was thankful to build my game up. And then by the time I was a junior, I had an opportunity to go play in Peoria. And this all relates me going back to AA. So I originally tried out for Peoria, and I got cut. So I've been cut on so many. That just relates to me. I've been cut on so many teams in my life. Like, me getting cut and then called back is nothing new. It's just like, and I don't mean that in a cocky way. Like, I'm not surprised they took me. It's just, I've always been like the last cut, where, like, maybe a week later a team would call me or something. Just I just think the teams realize, like, if I play and then there's a presence when I'm there, and then compared to when I'm not, even if I'm not the most skilled guy or whatever, like, I very rarely make mistakes, and I still have a presence on the bench. So, like I said, it's just always been hit or miss with teams. So, basically, yeah, I get cut from Peoria after I leave school. And then I'm thinking at the time, well, do I want to go back and finish school, or do I want to maybe try out for another team? What do I want to do? And I get the call back, and thankfully I just worked my butt off all year. And I'm thankful for best coach I ever had is this guy named Jean-Guy Trudel. So he's basically the Peoria coach there now, and he just taught me all those little details I was missing. I was always a hard worker, but I never really had the smarts, or like the hockey sense, they'd call it. I just learned to think the game on a different level because of him. So regardless of where I end up, I'll always be thankful for that coach. I don't think I'll ever find a coach that makes it easy for a team to buy in and win better than he does. But regardless, yeah, I ended up playing in Peoria. I'll always have a place, a heart, and my heart will always be in Peoria, basically. Like it could be a spot where I end up finishing my career too. So who knows? Or I could just stay there for the rest of my career. It's just kind of depends on where things are at in life. So, but basically, I played for Peoria my rookie year, and then my second year, I started off pretty hot. Had 11 points in like 10 games, something that's very rare for me, because yeah, I know. And then it's weird because, well, like I said, it was all because of the team. It's not like I was single-handedly dominating. But it's funny because I got 8 points in 2 years in college, and that's like 50, 60 games. So, like, it was just almost like it was like I was a completely different player, which I felt like I was, especially going into that second year in Peoria. So started off hot, but again, it's not all about points and whatnot. But I started off hot, still played solid, and then ended up earning 2 call-ups to the ECHL. I won't name team names, but basically, I don't know, like, some of these teams, I don't know why they call guys up just to have them sit on the bench. I mean, I don't know if it's an ego thing or what, but regardless, the ECHL went well. So I personally think our team in Peoria would actually beat some ECHL teams, just based off the fact that we play together, don't have egos. So it'd be interesting to see if that ever got out and if a team would take us up on that. But regardless, yeah, I earned 2 call-ups. So, and then ended up getting sent back to Peoria after basically around COVID time, and then that's when COVID canceled our season. So yeah, I've only really played one game for Peoria or 2 games back in 2020. I'd say about 2. You might need to stat check that, but again, I just want to play for Peoria, at least start off the year there, and see what happens for next season. But yeah, I just try and stay ready, whether the season's 7 months from now or 10 months from now. So I'm what they call a hockey hippie. I'm just at the rink all day. So
Yeah,
what
yeah, absolutely. Uh, Yeah, absolutely. That's an awesome background story. And like you went super in depth, which I love, and everything. Just it really like made everything like sound like it's meant to be, because like you were cut from Peoria, like you said, in after your second year in Superior when you went to try out
Yeah.
for them. It's like what keeps you motivated from like getting all these like just getting cut from all these teams and being able to come back and just like
Well,
you know you have to perform when you do come
part
back.
of it, I was very wise. So after my junior hockey, like I had the choice. I could pay $40,000 a year to go play D1 and be a walk on or whatever, right? Or I could pay 2,000 or 3,000 and go to play almost every game. So I think this all relates back to like what teams want you and what where you're at in life, right? I had to pay for school as I go. So um something that keeps me motivated is just because little things in life, I just know I have to work harder than most people for them. So that just kind of already makes you mentally tougher. But um so yeah, I just think just always wanting to get better. Like it's just I'm not the same when I'm not training or when I'm not active, right? I need to move around. I need to I just need to always be busy doing something. Um so
Yeah, absolutely. So then, yeah,
go.
nah, you're good. So then you go like throughout like all your AAA hockey, and then you go on to juniors, and you get drafted by Odessa. It's like how did like the draft work over for the NAHL for the NAL, and how were you like what was that process like?
Well, I didn't even know they drafted me actually. So I actually had two of my friends visit there. They were tendered, Jeremy Wick and Joe Kinsella. So they were there, and I guess they ended up telling their coaches about me somehow. And then I just get a call during the draft when that happened. But again, I was just a young dumb kid. I was like, oh, I'm gonna play in the USHL. I don't even care. Like, no, I'll do. But looking back, dude, like I don't even know if my friends ever helped me out and told the coaches. Who knows if I ever would have even played in the NAL. So I just, like I said, I just think things happen for a reason. So I just try and be a good person, do things the right way, and then work hard. I mean, seeing things don't always turn out, turn out exactly how you want them, but in time, everything kind of makes sense. So
Yeah, exactly. It's just all about the opportunities you're given and
yeah.
just the teams wanting you. So
Um,
then, yeah. So like, what was that? What was the transition going from AAA hockey to junior hockey in the NAL and just playing in the second top tier junior league in the States?
Well, I was always those guys. Like I said, I always was like borderline on teams. Every team, even Double A. Like it happened in Double A, it happened in Triple A, it happened in Tier 3 Junior, it happened in Tier 2 Junior, and I eventually almost made it all the way to Tier 1 Junior without having an agent or a walk on. Like I was, like I said, I was the last cut in the USHL. So for a kid not having an agent and just working his bag off, like I don't think that's bad. And a lot of times, like yeah, I don't know, like politics play a role, but I would just knew that if I let my play do the talking in time, that it won't matter about politics, won't matter, right? It's just the best player will play no matter what. It doesn't matter if this kid's dad's the coach or this kid's dad's the general manager, right? Or coaches are being friends with parents or whatever, right? None of that will matter. Um, Everything I just said has happened, by the way, too. It still happens nowadays. I don't mean to say negative, but it just is what it is. But
Yeah,
um, again, I played double A my whole life, and I just knew as an athlete, even no matter what level of hockey you play, like I just knew I worked harder than most people. Even if I wasn't the best, I knew one day if I put in the time, I will be. So to answer your question, basically, yeah, I was actually a much better player by AAA than I was in AA. Like I got more points in AAA and everything. So transitioning from AA to AAA wasn't bad. And then from AAA to juniors, I was already kind of an older guy coming out of AAA. So um, I just think I was more just ready to play at that point. So I wasn't. It wasn't a hard transition. I think the biggest transition, honestly, was honestly going from D3 to the SP, right? And it's not just the SP. It was more just playing for a detailed coach, right? Because if I wouldn't have figured it out, I wouldn't have made it. That's just what it is. That's what happens. You don't figure it out, you don't make it. So yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the reason why I grew so much as a player too, because I actually had a coach that knew what he was doing with developing guys and playing within a system, right? Not just playing favorites. But again, it's he just plays what works, whether he likes the kid or doesn't like the kid. He knows what it takes for the team to win. So, again, D3 to the SP was the biggest jump, but I think that was also where I made the biggest improvements in my game. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's like some of the things that you've learned over your course of your career have been like the little details. So would you say like that's like one of the biggest things you learned throughout playing AAA, playing AA, going to juniors, going to college, and then going up to the SP?
yeah, all the details allow you to play fast, and that's what people don't understand. It's not, again, when everybody's the same size. Youth hockey is youth hockey, but and what I mean by that is it's just you shouldn't judge things by win losses and lose youth hockey. It's the most foolish thing ever. But um wait, repeat that question again. I'm thinking and I'm trying to answer your question. Say that again. Say that again real
Yeah,
quick.
it's just like some of like the biggest things you've learned was the smaller details that like
Oh,
make a big difference
yeah,
in your game throughout going
exactly.
up to from youth, juniors, college, pro. So like, would you say that's like one of the biggest things you've learned and the things you benefited from the most?
Well, yeah. So like I said earlier, all the details allow you to play fast, meaning like just how you prepare your body, right? It's people think details only relate to hockey, but like you gotta understand to make your improvements, hockey's not like a thing you do for a couple hours a day. It's who you are. It's like you eat. When you eat, the food doesn't always taste good. You don't eat for pleasure. You eat to perform, right? And details like get enough sleep or um having your stick on the right angle when you're playing a guy, or you know having the puck and knowing what four options are around you, right? Not just skating it and trying to dangle, like just all those little details, like taking care of your body and little things on the ice allow you to play fast. Now you only learn the details by really watching the game, not being on your phone and seeing who scores, but by really watching your favorite player, like how he crosses over, what curve is his stick, what flex does he use, right? So like I just think like details like how I use it for to help me is I watch my opponent's body language too, right? I kind of see what guys might think they're tough on the ice, or which guys might think they're cocky and skilled, right? Or just even how long a guy's stick is. Like it's just all those details. Like if your mind's able to process something before it happens, you kind of already know what to do with your four options, with the puck or without the puck, whenever it happens. So like that's why Gretzky was so good in his days, because guys in that era, they didn't have the details. Gretzky thought the game at a whole different level. Um, so that's just kind of my thing, is that like not a lot of people think they know details, but it's it gets a lot more in depth than what most people realize. And my mind, like I said, my mind was blown away going from D3 to the SP. So um I guess that's where I made my biggest improvement, is just improving on the little things, the little aspects of my game. So
Yeah, yeah. So going to like the players, like just watching guys and watching players just get those little details. And it's like, who was your guys to watch that you'd watch and try to pick things up from their game and try to implement it into your game?
Um, Tampa Bay Lightning, I'd say for sure. So those guys like Victor Hedman, I watch. Um, Personally, as a player, like as a team, I like to play like Tampa Bay, right? Like just move the puck quick, um, crash the net, right? So everybody's always supporting the puck. But as far as individual players, me as a player, I want to be all around good. So I want to be like pretty much efficient in all areas of the game. So guys like Shea Weber, Brent Burns. Um, I'm nowhere near like Burnsy, but I can definitely steal some things off his game. Um, Chris Pronger, Al McInnes, Scott Stevens. Those are just some of the guys like I grew up watching. My favorite was Slava Fetisov. He's actually a Russian. He was unbelievable. But um, as far as nowadays, I like to watch Andrei Sergachev and Cal McCarr. He's unbelievable too. So like I try and like steal like little things like they do well, and I try and implement them in my own game. Now I know my limits too, but still, it's always good to like. And this relates back to those, I don't mean to say this all the time, but the details, right? If you can just kind of know where you're at in the ice and know an area, know an space, the game is actually very, very easy to process. It looks really fast, maybe when you're watching it. It's a whole lot faster when you're playing, but again, everything's slowed down if you already know what you're doing beforehand.
Yeah, absolutely. And just watching players and watching what they do, like a lot, like you should be watching games and just watching some of your favorite players and just picking things up from their game and just try to put stuff into your game as well. And it definitely does help, like, to get like that feeling, like that more hockey sense, like you were talking about earlier, and just seeing how they see the game and then try to implement that into your game, if that makes sense.
No, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, exactly. So like going into your last 2 years of juniors, like you played for for the Sioux Eagles and the Sioux. It's like
yeah,
did, did did like playing in the Sioux give you a lot of confidence going into your next season of juniors before making that jump to college?
yeah. I had a few school offers, D1 and D3 to go after my first year. Um, Again, I was just like, why? I might as well just play it out. So we were playing. So that's when we switched coaches when we went from the Sioux to New Jersey. So I knew I still had to prove myself. I knew I had a year under my belt. Um, and I just had to prove to the coach there that I was legit. And again, yeah, that year in New Jersey, I ended up having a more offensive year and ended up making the top prospects game. So that was the difference between year one and year two. I didn't make top prospects my first year, but my second year I did. Um, but yeah, I mean, but yeah, no, yeah, man. I mean, I just knew I had to prove myself. Again, I'm not a guy to like take off time in the summers. I just even if I'm going back to the same team, I'm trying to come back and have a better year than I did before, whether it's for a new team or my same team. So
Yeah, for sure. So like during your time in New Jersey, like you said, you're more productive in the offensive side of things and defensive side of things, and you're a stable in the lineup as well. It's like, what do you think helped you become so successful and what was able to stay in the lineup as much as you did?
just my mind, man. Just honestly, my mind. It's my I don't know. I just think differently. Even guys older than me, I think differently. But again, all the you know practicing and I just know I put the time in, right? So I'm not anywhere nearly like where I want to be in my career, but again, if I keep going at where I'm at, I just know only me can stop me. So, um, I just dogs are going crazy. It's okay, buddy. I just know, like I said, I just don't want to have any regrets when I'm older. So I'm just gonna do everything I can as hard and as you know efficiently as I can. And my body shuts down on me or something, it's one thing, but it's going to be very hard for me to leave altogether. So that's why I just kind of try and put everything I can into every day toward hockey. So
Yeah, that's a great mindset to have because you want to put everything out there for when you do
yeah,
retire. You don't want to regret anything. Know that you
for
put everything
sure,
you got into the game that you love.
for sure, man.
Yeah,
It's
so yeah, exactly.
what are
You
you
were
gonna say?
yeah, so I was gonna say, so like you decided to commit to UW Superior after your juniors, after your years in the juniors. It's like what made UW Superior be your school, and what made that decision to go there?
So it was the same coach from my junior year was the same coach at UWS. So I'm like, I might as well go play there, right? And it was cheap schooling for me too. So again, I had an offer to go play D1, but I just knew I'd have to play. I'd be X amount of dollars in debt after school. So again, if I were to go pay $40,000, I'd still owe $80,000 because I went to school for 2 years. It's insane. So that played a role, was money, and again, I just knew I would play there. I just knew. I mean, if you're a borderline D1 guy, kind of, if you look at yourself that way, or you just know by the time you play D3, like you should be in the top of the lineup. You still have to work, but if you put in the work, you'll be one of the top guys. So
Yeah, for sure. So then going into that first year of at UW Superior, you played in 29 games. It's like, how was your first year of college hockey for you? Or was it harder or easier than you expected?
it was
And like
easy.
just getting
Oh,
used to the pace of the game.
it wasn't hard. The NA I think was faster in some ways. But again, I didn't get a lot of points in college. That's just not what I don't know. You can look at my stats. I had chances too, but again, it's just I didn't score that much in college compared to that I did when I was in well, even in juniors I didn't score too much compared to you know the Rivermen. So um yeah.
Yeah, so then going into you played 2 years at UW Superior before getting your shot with Peoria Rivermen in the SB. So like, what was that first taste of pro hockey like? Especially like after like you were talking earlier, you got cut from them before, and then they called you up and you played for them the rest of the year.
Look at this guy. What's up, man? Um so I got an assist my first game, so that felt really good. Um I don't know. I just knew I had to perform. So my back was kind of up against the wall, right? Either had to play good for a few weekends or not play good. So I just knew that second time I was more motivated to come back and, like I said, play for the team and do whatever it takes to win. So I think that's part of why I was able to stick there too, was I just did whatever it took to stay and to win. So again, though, it wasn't an easy situation. My back was against the wall a lot of times, but you got very little room for error. But again, if you're completely focused on your task at hand and what you have to do, then it's not very often you make mistakes anyway, right? All of it just relates back to being prepared and being a pro and doing the things off the ice you need to do.
Yeah,
So it's the best
yeah,
way to put it.
yeah, for sure. And just the mindset you have is really good. And just like you have to do it. There's no room for error, like you said, and you have to perform because it's a business. And if you're not performing, you're gonna be gone. So like you have to perform. Just you have to perform very well during when you're up in the pros.
No, I completely agree. It's depending on your contract, it's usually week by week. So for most guys, you could be there one weekend and be home with with your mom and dad the next weekend. So just again, there's always that little bit of pressure in the back of your head, but it's a business too, right? Guys can be friendly, but at the end of the day, it's about the success toward the team and the organization. So if what you're doing isn't helping that, then you shouldn't be there, even if we like you.
Yeah, it's all about creating opportunities and making the most of it.
Exactly, exactly, man.
Yeah. So, like, when you first got up into the pros, like, what was your like, what the hell moment? Like anything that you experienced, like on the ice, like you're like, what the fuck's going on?
um, I'm trying to think. During pro hockey, I'm really thinking. Honestly, I would just say when you get called up and a team sits you on the bench, like I don't understand why they call guys up and trust them and then don't play them. Like that's more of what it is, right? Like
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing out there is again, like it's not about for hockey players, it's not about leagues or rankings, it's about your mindset, right? If you're a guy that puts in the time to practice and you take care of your body, it doesn't really matter what league you're in, you're gonna dominate regardless. So yeah, just like I said, when you fly me out and then when a team flies me out and it's not even like I played and they saw me play and sat me. It's like I just sat. Like I'm just like what's like why am I even here then? So that's just kind of why I'm like, okay, like who do these guys really think they're that good or what? I don't know. I won't be able. Maybe it's a good thing I can't explain it. So that's just the one time I was just like, what's going on? Like you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and and the craziest thing is that like when you're on like a losing team like that, like the coaches don't change anything. They don't change the power play. They don't change the lineup or like, and they wonder why they keep losing. So that's the moments where I'm like, okay, some of these guys actually have jobs in this league and are pro coaches. So I mean, I'm all for buying in and you know, if you meet me too, I'm a very selfless person. So just some things happen and it's not for me to understand, but for your specific question, like yeah, like at least see the kid play and see what he can do before like before you sit him, right? Don't dress him and not know what you're getting and then just have a guy there, right? But some of these guys are ruthless. They don't care like how long your road trip is or how long your car ride is, right? They don't care about you. So that was just my biggest thing, right? I got a different opportunity in another organization and it went really well. So but that was it. I mean, that's the only negative thing. I was just like, what's going on? So that's it.
Yeah, for sure. There's always those moments where you're like, what is going on? Just like everything's like not going right where like how it should be, and you're like, it's very hard for everyone to process. So that definitely sucks for part of it.
Yeah. So it just is what it is, right? I mean, I'm not saying if guys get called up, they play every shift. They don't go on a new team, but again, I don't know. It's not. I don't know what to say to that stuff. Um, just it is what it is, right? If maybe if I was like I said, at the same time I hold myself accountable. I was like maybe if I was a better player, then wouldn't even matter what the coach thinks, right? He'd have to play me. But at the same time, it's just I don't know. It's just you got to be honest with yourself at all times too. So I feel like I am, and again, that was just the one time I'm just like, what's going on? I might as well just again go play where I'm wanted. I'm not wanted here. It seems like so.
It
But
is what it is, I guess. It sucks, but what are you gonna do about it? So, like, you have a fun time when you're playing in Peoria. So, like, what's been like the experience in Peoria, like, and just playing for the Rivermen's organization, just the city of
oh,
Peoria?
they win a lot. They're a winning team, so um, yeah, they just win. They win a ton. So I just like to win. And Superior, we didn't win. I'm happy those guys are starting to turn it around in college, right? So they started winning when I left. So maybe I was a problem. No, I'm just kidding. We were in our
Oh,
rebuild.
nah.
No, I know, I'm joking. Um, I actually played on a lot of bad teams growing up. Chicago Fury, though, we were good. Odessa, we had the most commitments in the league, and we were very bad. And New Jersey, the Sioux, we were good, and New Jersey, we were good too. We were number one or number two in the division. We got upset in playoffs big time, but during the year we did well. Um, again, that's why going to college too was kind of hard. It's just like, and it wasn't the coach's fault. It's just, again, when you're in a rebuild year, you can only bring in one class. If you're a new coach, you can only bring in one class. You can recruit sophomores and juniors and seniors, but it's hard to, right? You want to bring in your freshman class. So you almost got to be there for 4 years before you get the guys you want. So,
Yeah, for sure. And just,
you know,
yeah, exactly. So,
yeah.
Jake, I have a few more questions for you before we get this thing done with. So, what's like the biggest tip that you could say for players looking to get to that next level?
Be honest with yourself and do the things that nobody wants to do. Like work hard, 8 laps, eat good food, stay off your video games and your phone. I'm not saying you can't do it, but only save it at nighttime. This depends on where you're at, right? If you're a bigger kid, maybe do things to get more athletic and get better in shape. If you're weak, maybe start doing some body weight stuff. If you're a guy that has slow hands, maybe start stick handling. I just think a lot of it is people need to be honest with themselves too. And if they don't know how to be honest with themselves, ask, people that are close. But again, I just think if we're actually honest with ourselves and we don't go off what makes us feel good, I think that's a huge step in being real with where your game's at and where you're at as a person. So again, yeah, do the little things like nobody wants to do. Like nobody wants to go and run a mile, every other day, but you should do it, right? Or nobody wants to eat spinach salads, but you should do it. So, part of that is just doing things that nobody wants to do, but doing it like you love it. So again, if you work hard, you put in the time, you just know it makes, like, if you put in the time in practice, it makes games easy. It makes games super easy, but you have to practice almost harder than you play, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. You just gotta keep working. Like that's what gets you gotta separate yourself from the competition and just work harder than everyone else. So that's a great tip that you provided there. So my next question for you is, what's your favorite pump up song when you want to get like a little pump in, like pregame warm up before you go on the ice? Like, what are you listening to?
I think Roses. Roses is what it's called. I forgot who it's by. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I probably do. Probably I've heard songs with that title, so I'm sure I have.
It's easy to find. It's got a couple million views, but
Yeah.
I like the techno stuff. It's a techno song, kind of.
Yeah, for sure. And just anything to get you pumped up before a game, before a practice, before a lift, like get the juices flowing. Like that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my final question for you is, what has been like your favorite city that you've traveled to, either during away games, like in pro, college, juniors, anywhere?
Oh, I'd say easily Alaska. I mean, we had a 2-week trip there. So stayed in Kenai and Fairbanks. So Alaska's awesome. It's beautiful there, but it's also cold. Saw caribou. They're like the size of a school bus. People don't understand.
Don't
Really
get hit by that thing.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, but that just seems like an amazing place to play. It's just in Alaska because it's like you have to fly there, obviously, and like you just spend like a week to 2 weeks there, like you said, and just vibe with the boys.
Yeah, it's we stay in hotels. You're eating out every day. I mean, it was nice. It was nice. It was a nice trip. I mean, the actual games didn't go well, so we actually, I think we lost 3 out of 4 when we were there, but we still enjoyed the trip. I mean, not everyone. Some people, our coach was in a bad mood when we were there, but I don't blame him for going 3 out of 4. But like I said, the guys still had a good time. They had fun. So
Yeah, and have fun off the ice, and that's where the best memories are made. That's for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. So Hammy, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time. And
Buddy.
I look forward to following your career the rest of the way and training with you.
All right, buddy. I'll see you soon, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem.